Blundering Bros, because our stupidity is what unites us. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Blundering Bros, Blunder Like a Champion. Today we continue having a look at Steinitz's blunders, and today it's his second World Championship match that's on the radar. He played this match in Havana against Mikhail Chigorin, a player from the Russian Empire who learnt chess when he was 16 and only got serious about it when he was 24 years old. Chigorin was a fantastic player, and we'll learn more about him later. We'll also focus on an opening defense of his against 1d4 in a future series of ours. The first game immediately shows us a significant blunder, as Steinitz seemingly thought 27 rook takes a2 was an option. We weren't there in 1889, so it's hard to say what he was thinking, but perhaps he thought white couldn't take on d5 due to back rank issues. The problem with this is, however, that if black sacrifices the queen on d5, white simply has bishop e1 after rook a1 check. Had black played 27 rook a5 instead, he would have been fine, and a draw would have been a very likely result. Not one to be outdone, Chigorin blunders right back at him in the second game of the match, with 15f takes g4. Again, it's not clear what he was thinking, but after this blunder his position just falls apart. Not just the center, but the white squares as well. As some like to say, now white had both the pawn and the compensation. Interestingly, it appears he wouldn't have been worse if he had played queen c7 instead. The point being that the tactics work in black's favor, as he can take on f2 with the knight, attacking the bishop on d3 to be taken with check, and if white takes back on f2, there's bishop g3 check. The fourth game of the match was a miniature, in which Chigorin played what you could call a romantic style of chess, while Steinitz was known for modernizing it. Instead of properly protecting the center, Chigorin had a liking for dubious lines like bishop g4, or as we shall see later, knight c6. Black doesn't manage to put energetically enough to gain sufficient compensation for the loss of the battle of the center and is quickly overwhelmed. Steinitz avoids black's tricks and wins the game very convincingly. On move 22, there's not much else to do but resign. Rook takes b7 check is coming, with knight a7 or c7 mate, and white doesn't even need to play bishop f4 for further reinforcements. The fifth game of the match contains another spectacular blunder, when Chigorin plays 18h3, seemingly either missing completely or forgetting that the g3 bishop was technically only defended once, as the f-pawn is pinned so unable to take back. We then move all the way on to game 13, where Steinitz is up a whole piece, but there's more to worry about than you perhaps might think at first glance. The point is f6 is weak, and if white's given the chance to take there, he might suddenly end the game in his favor as queen h8 check is next, and the black pieces are in no suitable position to defend the king there. The knight on c4 gets to jump in as well there, making matters even worse for black. That's exactly what happens in the game. Black is even up a whole rook temporarily, but the knight on d6 plus queen on f8 create decisive threats against the king, while the rook could also go to b1 if needed. Chigorin liquidates into a pawn endgame, which might not be the most powerful way to win, but it's completely winning nonetheless. After that, it's game 15, with another opening gone wrong, this time for Steinitz. Still, there were options to defend more tenaciously, and 12f6 would have prevented the game's sequence where white gets to play d6 check. Then both players miss bishop c5, threatening to win the d6 pawn, and the game continues. On move 27, rook fe1 would have been very strong, and this line illustrates just why. Black can't defend everything all at once. The back rank f6, f7, the queen on b7, it's just too much. What do you think? Was Chigorin a great player? Were his contributions to chess important? Please let us know in the comments down below, and don't forget to like and subscribe.